Hello, hi, welcome to the show. This is Joycelyn Linton coming into the higher calling, and podcasting through Blog Talk Radio. .com/ coming into the higher calling, and I'm also on Speaker www speaker SPREAKER .com/Joycelyn Linton's tracks, and I've been trying to. I say this all the time. I'm having a real issue trying to connect with Blog Talk Radio, and it can take me a couple of hours, which frustrates me because it delays what I'm doing, and it also means that when I want to podcast on a regular basis, it can hold me up because I'm not able to do all that I can in the daytime. So anyway, I pray that the Lord will bless me to have an upgraded computer that will probably have a fast processor and a fast turnover on it. And so, with the touch of a finger, boom, I can get straight on air. So I've been talking to you for the past 2 weeks on a true love of a mother from the prayers of a prophet. And I'm just going to read here the information I've got here. I invite you to listen further on the complex message of Hannah's plea leading to the prophet Samuel. This is in combination with the ongoing study of Jesus who raises Lazarus from the dead. However, we are still surveying the message of the prophet Zechariah as the word of the Lord promises to redeem us to live in according to his statute and decree. Hannah begins to shift her awareness into her prayers with the Lord and shuts her mind from any other distraction. Hannah finds that as she pursues earnest prayers to the Lord, her mind aligns totally in the way of the Lord. Jesus knows that another has intercepted the awareness of the people and deceived them into believing and accepting sickness unto death. Yet Jesus speaks that this sickness is to give glory to the Lord and the Son of God. Jesus shifts the awareness and gains the vision of Zion, the Lord, and therefore Lazarus awakens from his deep sleep. The optimum word of the Lord is that an awareness shift is taking place, and many shall break the code of disillusionment and begin to realize a higher truth and begin to seek the way of the Lord. The saying is, "Seek ye the Lord while he may be found. Call upon him while he is near." And that last word comes from Isaiah chapter 55 verse 7. So my chat room is not coming up right now because I'm on Chrome, and Chrome is not allowing me to have a chat room. But anyhow, I do have the call-in, and but you can perhaps, let me see if I can chat on invite, no, speaker doesn't have okay. So basically just listen away, listen to what to the word of the Lord that flows through me. So we've been talking about Elkanah and Hannah, or when really the story theme is working itself around Hannah. And yesterday we emphasized on Elkanah and how he may have felt between his two wives, Peninnah and Hannah. And the storyline says that he gave Hannah a worthy portion, but yet Hannah, she paid attention to the other wife who was bearing children for Elkanah, and she wasn't. So it caused a despair in Hannah, and it makes us realize how we weigh up what is valuable in ourselves. And many can say, well, if she is a wife and she's a woman, she's to bear children. But it also makes you to think that to bear children, though it's a natural process, but sometimes it can be a delayed process. You see, and it can be a delayed process, and we can use this opportunity to weigh up the situation here that can can be for our benefit. And I mentioned yesterday the emotion, you see, and we are made up of the emotion, you see, and as I was reading on Jesus in the gospel, where he says, I am the vine, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away. And every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it, that it may bring forth more fruit. You see, so there goes Jesus talking about bearing fruit, being fruitful. And there goes Hannah worrying about not being fruitful in where she thinks that she should be fruitful. So now it becomes an emotional issue, and the emotion brings Hannah it moves her that the husband has to really speak to her, and I'm going to say in no uncertain terms, whether he spoke in a high tone, in a disciplinary way at her, or whether he was gentle and understanding and counseling at her, but all the same, he had to confront Hannah on what was going on with Hannah. What was going on with her? Because he saw Hannah in a valuable way. He saw a inner beauty in Hannah, and he said, can you not see that I am giving you a worthy portion? Why do you look elsewhere? Your focus is on me. I am your husband. And he asked her 4 questions, and he said, and the 4th question, he said, am not I better to thee than 10 sons? Yeah? So now he's talking between her and him, that there is a value between them, and I'm going to say a value of love. He says, can you not experience the love? I am your husband. Okay? I am your husband. Are you not to experience my love for you, my love with you, that I give you a worthy portion to make up? He's going to, in an undertone, to make up. Because the other wife, she bears children for me. So to show you the strength of my love for you, and to show you that I value you, and I see that greater value that you have, I give you a worthy portion, you see. But Hannah's emotion is blinds her to that situation, or it doesn't bring weight to her, because she wants children too, and a woman is to bear children. And this is what Jesus is saying here, that every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away. And every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it. So now we have to think about the type of fruit, because he says, if the branch beareth not fruit, the husbandman, which is the father, Jesus' father, will take it away. So something has been taken away from Hannah, because the Lord had shut up her womb. And I was saying that it was what was going on for Hannah on the inside. I was saying that she was looking at the other, and maybe she became covetous. She was desiring something that somebody else had, and it stirred her emotions in the wrong direction. And as a person who worked in the medical field, and who worked in the arena of women's health, I really can delve into this area. But hey, let me just start off by giving you the time. And today is the 25th day of the 4th month, 2017, and the time now is 10:21 a.m. Okay, so yesterday I talked about the number 4. It's just flicked over to 22. All right, and I began to speak in 4s. Today, looking at the numbers, if we're going to go into algorithms, it's just flicked off to 22. And I'm going to look at 22 and 17, and I'm getting the number 11. So I'm working in the field of odds. Yes, what are the odds? So I'm going to say we're working with a true false here. So now we want to talk about the emotions here, and to keep myself steady, because I tend to jump from one situation to another. Jesus speaks about the branch that does not bear fruit. He taketh away and beareth not. So every branch in me so listen to what Jesus said. Every branch in me, yes, that beareth not fruit, he taketh away. And every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it. Let's go back to the beginning of the chapter 15. I am the true vine. I am the true vine. And a vine is a grapevine, with grapes. It produces, we see in my garden, the neighbors, they have a grapevine, and it crawls up the tree, and then it comes over the fence, and because the branch of the tree extends over, it grows more abundantly, and in itself it has its own strength because it grows over the wall, and the leaves and the branches now gives it a little bit of an anchorage, and eventually you'll see it towards the end of the summer, the grapes come through. So it will send its shoot, it will then send a bud which blossoms, and then the grapes come through, you see. So but then there are times I would assume that the branch will come through and there's no fruit coming to it. And sometimes it could be because of pestilence. Yeah. That's hindered that situation. Yeah. Could be there's a reason why it did not bear fruit, because it's supposed to. As it crawls, as it grows and develops and anchors itself on the tree or on the wall, and then the foliage itself begins to give it strength, that it kind of anchors itself there. Every branch is supposed to produce fruits, you see. And I had another neighbor, when the grape came up, he'd cut it off my side, so therefore no fruits came. Therefore I couldn't share of the grapevine. It was only meant to be for him and his garden, you see. But we've got new neighbors, and they don't care. The grapes come across, and when the children come by, in the summer, late summer, they pluck from the grapes. So each branch is meant to produce a clump of grapes, and if it hasn't, then there is something wrong. And the grapes that come through now, it has to be in wellness of itself, that it's safe to eat. It's not when you eat it, there's worms inside of it or anything like that. It should be able to be nice and juicy, succulent, and safe to eat. So this is what Jesus is saying, that the Lord will purify the fruit, that it is safe, and that it may bring forth more fruit. Okay. So Hannah is saying she is feeling incomplete, I would like to say, because she thinks that she's not bearing seed or fruit like her counterparts. So it stirs her emotions. Okay, and the husband has to say to her in 4 questions. He says, and this is in verse 8. He said to her, Hannah, why weepest thou? And why eatest thou not? And why is thy heart grieved? Am not I better to thee than 10 sons? Now, I've already spoken over these questions, so I won't say too much. I will say, her husband, why weepest thou? That tells me that her emotions is stirred, and therefore floods of salty water, I like to say, floods of water would come through her eyes. Her vision, there is something about Hannah's vision. And then he says,